Welcome to Books Under Your Bed. I'm Wesley McCraw. Today I'm going to talk about a nonfiction book for a change. It is called Shakespeare and Company, A History of the Rag and Bone Shop of the Heart. This book is amazing. um, it's very, very charming and heartwarming, and it's about a bookstore in Paris, an English bookstore that is across from Notre Dame. It starts off with the history of the person who founded the shop. His name is George Whitman, and sort of penniless, he traveled the world. He was very into books and was reading the whole time. But people would, house him or give him food or allow him to work for room and board. And after that experience, he kind of ended up in Paris, and he wanted to sort of give back, partly because when he was on his travels, he depended on everyone around him, and he just felt like the world was a supporting, giving place, and he wanted to offer that kind of unconditional support to other people like he received. And so he created this bookstore where people could borrow the books without paying. They could sleep at the bookstore as long as they wrote a short biography of themselves and read while they were there, and maybe helped at the shop for a few hours. He would give them food, and conditions at the bookshop were pretty rudimentary, so it definitely was not anything like a 5-star hotel or something, but you could sleep in the cubbies that were amongst the books. And so over the course of the bookstore being open, it had thousands of people stay in it. And it was a place of support for lots of emerging writers of the time who needed a place to stay, or a place for reading English things to the public in Paris. So people like James Baldwin, you name it, literary people showed up there. What's interesting about the book is that George Whitman is very much a socialist idealist. He's also really an eccentric character who would, for instance, a person could walk into the shop and he would be like, "Could you run the cash register? I am going to be back in 10 minutes." And the person will be like, "Okay, I guess I can do that." And so he'll leave, and then the person will have run the shop for a week before George Whitman comes back. And that whole time, the person will be in charge of everything and just dealing with the fact that they were put in charge. And that's just sort of how George Whitman operated. He just assumed that he could ask anyone anything to do with the shop and just hope things worked out. And usually, mostly, it sort of did, partly because George Whitman just wasn't very focused on turning a profit or anything like that. What's also great about the book is that it's not just a book, it's of text. There's tons of pictures and archives of everything about the shop. Journal entries from George Whitman, biographies of the people who stayed. All of it just feels very earthy and enriching, and gives you a little bit more faith and hope in humanity, that we can create a place that's supportive of artists, that values literature. All of that in this current political climate just feels sort of like a miracle. For anyone who's slowly losing faith in humanity, it's good to show that humanity can be pretty amazing, and we can support and love each other and value beauty and art. And it doesn't have to be like it is right now. We can create a better future that supports each other. That's what I wanted to talk about today. If you can find this book, I definitely recommend it to anyone who's likes literature, wants to read about a bookstore, is entertained by quirky characters. I loved this book. Going to treasure it, and hopefully you get a chance to read it too. Thanks.